Hello there, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's always a pleasure. Sundays are great for me. I love this show. And I know you guys do too, because I have gotten some emails. Would love to have more people in the chat room. Right, Amnon? Amnon, our producer, is with us
Hello.
as always.
Happy Easter.
Hi. Yeah, happy Eastern, happy Eastern. It's really a beautiful, Eastern is really one of, I think right after Halloween, it's my favorite. First of all, I don't have to buy presents. I don't have to go out there and buy presents. And because it's not that I'm stingy or that I don't want to buy presents, but see, I believe all year long, the people that I love, I do nice things for them or buy them nice things all year long. So I really don't think that there has to be I mean, Christmas, okay. But even at Christmas, I don't buy a lot of stuff. I try to do things for people, with people. Like if I have, like one of my girlfriends, um, for an occasion like this, I would say, come, we'll go to a spa together, I'll pay. Um, I know she adores that and she can't afford it herself. Not that I can afford that much, but it's if I would buy her a present, it would be $50. You can't get much below that. And so, we both enjoy something. So I think that Eastern is a time when you should spend with you. I can remember when at Eastern, we never got presents. We went to church in the morning and we got a new coat or new shoes or or a new dress. That was Eastern. And then we had the family together and we all ate something scrumptious that mom and grandma put together, right? And because in Europe we ate around noon always, we didn't have this thing of eating in the evening so much. Um, they sat with us and either there was storytelling or we crafted. We did things together, that we all did. And as you know, I have a Club 55 here. These are all women and men that are over the age of 55. And they remember things like I was just telling you. And one of the ladies there, she emailed me and she listens apparently to the show. And she said, why don't you talk about what you would have done if your grandchildren, my grandchildren, I don't see them very often. They don't live right in our vicinity. It's a 2.5 hour drive. And they are very busy. As you know, kids today are, I mean, they have an agenda like a president. And my other grandchildren, they are already past the age of crafting. They are already graduating from college. So and they are in California. So I don't have that much, but if I would have them here, this is what I would do because I thought this is the best way. I would do afternoon after they had their egg hunt and so on. We would make eggs for next year. And I like these jeweled eggs. Look at these eggs. You see them? They are real easy to make. Real easy. What you do is you take an egg and you put a little hole on the end of the egg and then on the other end of the egg, and I use a little drill bit. With that I can screw it and the egg doesn't break. Okay, so I put it hole on each side, and then I blow the egg out. And you just have to really blow into this hole, put it really right by your mouth, and blow the egg out. So these are hollow eggs. Then I color them, normal egg coloring. In this instance, I also gilded the egg, and that is a craft. It's that glue pen stick that you can buy. It's real cheap. You can buy it in the dollar store. And then I let that dry for a moment. And I also bought at the dollar store these jewels. And these are self-adhesive. So you just peel one of these off. You just peel one of these off and put it right around. Can you see this? There, see? You can put it right around the egg, and it holds it. And there you have your egg. And you keep doing that, any design that you want. All of this, it's very, very, very easy. And up here, this little string I put, and I glued it right over. I put a knot on the end of the string and put the string right into that little hole that I had there from blowing the egg out. And then I glue this little over. Any little child can do this. And what fun to do this with grandma. And so you have your jeweled eggs for next year. Now, if you would like to display your jeweled egg, like this one, which is really, really very elegant, I make little cups with them, for them. And this is how it works. I take one of these styrofoam egg carton, and I cut the corner out. See, right the corner. And that's what this corner is. Can you see it? And then I put this gilded pen that I had, and I just put that all around. And then I let it dry, and I put my egg in there. And now we have a nice table decoration, or a nice decoration that you can put up at Eastern. Isn't this fun? And it's so cheap. It costs pennies. It really does cost pennies. It's not hard at all. Now, if you wanted to make it a little bit more fancy and a little bit more expensive, you can go to the craft store and you can buy 14 karat gold leaf. You can buy a whole bag for maybe, I think I paid for this, it's a whole bag full. I think I paid $8 or something like that. But it is 14 karat gold. So what I did then is I put adhesive all over the egg. I first colored the egg. Then I put adhesive all over the egg. And then I started with a brush, I started to put the gold leaf. So everybody can have their gold nest egg for a lot less money than a real gold nest egg would be. And we'll talk about that in a little bit, about the nest egg. But isn't that cute? And it's so much fun to do that with your grandchildren, especially on Eastern. That way they have it for next year. The kids love it. Anybody over 2 years old can play with that. And even below that, then don't blow the eggs out. Hard boil the eggs. That way they don't break as easily. And you can hang them, make a little string, put eggs through there, put a knot on the bottom of the string so that they are, and make a string of eggs, hang them, almost like for Christmas when we do popcorn or whatever. Okay.
Gisela,
So, yes.
better to empty it. If not, you're asking for a stink bomb later
Oh,
on.
yes. Yes. Well, you know what? I have had I have eggs, had eggs. If you keep them in a cooler place, if don't put them in the attic where it gets warm in the summer. But if you keep them in a cooler place and don't ever try to eat them afterwards, because once they're hard
No,
boiled and they have not been properly refrigerated, they could be toxic. But of course, I always like to blow them out, not only because of the obvious that it might smell, but also because they're easier than to hang.
to hang and to
I
handle
hang
in
them.
general. And it's a
Yeah.
lot easier to blow them out if once you make the holes, like you said, take a paper clip, straighten it out, stick it in there, and break it up so there are no, like when
Yeah.
the yolk is one piece, it's hard to start. If you just kind of break it up, you can turn it over and it just runs out of that little hole
Oh,
almost.
absolutely. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
shake it. I shake it. And it usually breaks up
yeah,
somewhat too. Yeah.
yeah, yep.
Uh, yeah, it really is. It's very easy to blow out. And if you have little children, they don't have as much breath, then you do it for them. But the kids all love it. I mean, they really, really like it. And you know what? Grandmas should really do things like that. I never ever just buy my grandchildren something. I always give them something where they can learn a little something from it, because we have so much crap in our lives and we have so much stuff, everybody, grandchildren, children. We have more stuff than most people can really keep in a lifetime, and we're throwing away tons and tons. So why not just teach them something? Teach them, like my little granddaughter. I teach her how to knit. I teach her how to sew. She had so much fun the last time I visited with them. I brought a button and a shirt that I cut the button off because the button wasn't off. But I cut the button off so that she was able to sew the button on there. I taught her how to sew the button on. And after 2 tries, she had it down pat. She's 6 years old. She knew how to sew on a button. She was so proud of herself. And she was so happy to have done that. So the next time I go, I'll teach her something else, like maybe how to crochet or how to sew a seam, um, how to make little doll clothes for her dolls. It's real easy how to make a little skirt. And if you don't know how to do these things, go online. I mean, everything is online today, so you can find out very easily of how to do that. So on her next birthday, what I will do is I will make her a little basket and I will put yarn in there. I will put some needles in there. I put some buttons in there and little pieces of material. And that's going to be her sewing kit, her first sewing kit. I received from my mother 4 sewing kits throughout my growing up. The last one I still have. It's a round, big one, and it was more for a professional because now I knew how to sew. She taught me how to use the sewing machine. She taught me how to knit, how to crochet, how to repair things. Girls, we got to do things like this because if we don't teach them, their mothers, most of them have not learned that. And uh, our daughter, well, she was already, when I met my husband, she was already 7 years old, and she had no interest in sewing things or whatever. And I only have a son. Well, he did learn how to sew on a button and so on, and how to maybe repair a rib real quick. Not very well, but at least he knew how to use a needle and a thread. Um, But, guys, we need to keep these things alive because there may be a time, and the way the world is working, I have somehow the premonition that we may all need to know how to survive without store-bought stuff. Okay, what do you think, Abnan?
I think that you are probably correct, and I hate to agree with that.
Yeah, I know, I know. Even though, as you all know, I'm a Bernie fan, and he has won the last 3 states: Hawaii, Washington, and Alaska. And I am so proud of that guy. He is just moving right along there. I like it. I like it. I like it because he is uh, definitely towards let's make it happen. Let's see that we learn and we give off our knowledge to the next generation. The last generation, these girls and boys, the way they grew up, it was like, let's just make money, let's go and get your education, and let's pay off our student loans, and let's get a house and get a bigger car, and and there was no room. There was no room. And let's get this computer and that computer, and I gotta get that iPhone. And their noses were in that new technology, which I don't have any problem with. I like that new technology. However, we do have to keep the old technology a little bit too, because you know what? If they do have that cyber thing where they knock out all the satellites and everything, uh, 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 we're going to have to find another way of entertaining ourselves. That's all I can say for that. So I really feel that it would be a good idea for people to learn how to fix things, And if you don't know how to fix things, you better be very, very rich, because things break very quickly. And if you keep buying new, there's not going to be any money for a nest egg. And here comes my topic for today, really. Nest egg. Not easy to accumulate nest eggs. Um, we have, because we have such a wasteful society, we throw away food, we throw away things that can be repaired. We throw away way, way, way too much that could be used. And every time that you buy it new, even if it is $5, can you imagine every time that something broke and you were not able to fix it or didn't want to fix it? You would just take that money, if you would have been able to repair that, take that money, what it cost, and put it into a jar. I bet you on the end of the year, you have a sizable nest egg. You have a sizable money jar. And we are unfortunately doing that all over the place. Everywhere I go, I see it. Children take a bite out of an apple and throw the apple away. Well, that apple cost money if you didn't grow it yourself. So I have a real issue with these things. And, things break. Most things can be repaired. Most things, not all things, but most things can be repaired. In my household, we repair. We repair everything. And I do not buy new. If clothing is ripped, it gets sewn. If socks have a hole in it, they get sewn. And you know what? I have 3 jobs. I can still do this, not because I'm Superwoman, but because I make it a point of not to waste money or goods. And that is what building a nest egg is all about. Now, you can keep it in that jar, whatever you have. I also reward myself, by the way. I love TJ Maxx. We all do. All women love TJ Maxx, fashionista and all of that. But I don't always buy. I go and I wander around for an hour if I have the time. I don't go unless I have the time. Let's say it that way. An hour or two I spent there. I often walk out with nothing or what's just one small little thing. Because every piece that I see, I ask myself, and sometimes I try it on. I ask myself, do I really need this? Do I have something that looks almost identical at home? Most of the time it's yes. So I put it back on the rack. And every time that I do that, I make a mental note to put $1 in my jar at home because I reward myself for that, not having bought that. Try it. I've had some very nice things with my little jar of not purchasing things. The last was last week, a girlfriend of mine. We went to the spa. We go to the spa for the sauna and for relaxation. We should all do something like that. And we happen to have one here close by. It's a resort. It's not terribly expensive to go there for the day. We don't have really any services because the services are very expensive and we can't always afford that. But I had my little jar, and in my little jar were $80. And so I used that $80. We had a scrumptious lunch. Oh, we ate so well. And we had such a good time doing it. And I didn't waste the money on things because both of us have too many things, clothes, anything. Okay. So it's a good idea to do I call it the grateful jar. I'm grateful, and I put $1 in. It's a fun idea. But if you are really in the mood to build a nest egg, and it does not matter what age you are, here is a fabulous, fabulous tip. Whole life insurance is always a good idea for savings, right? You pay into the life insurance, and let's say you buy you can buy a $5,000 life insurance, but whole life insurance. Do not confuse it with term life insurance, okay? Term life insurance does not build cash value. So let's say you're 55 years old, you pay for that $5,000 life insurance, you pay about $30 a month. That's it, okay? Anybody can. I mean, how easy do we waste $30, right? So if you take that $30 and you put it into the life insurance, so once you have paid for the life insurance for about 2 years, you are now eligible if you have put a rider on there, and that is called a death benefit rider. If you put a rider on that, and I think the rider is another $2 or something like that. So you put that on there. Now, let's say in 2 years you get hit by a truck and you can't walk anymore. This rider now comes into effect. And that means this rider says if 2 of the 5 functions that you need to function in life, feeding yourself, mental capacity, being able to walk, being able to dress yourself, those kind of things. if two of those you are not able to do, you can cash in on that $5,000 death benefit. You haven't paid in $5,000 in 2 years, of course not, with $30 a month, right? But if that event happens, you can cash into that $5,000 or more, whatever you signed up with, and get that out. 80% of that gets paid to you during your lifetime. And sometimes there are some riders where they suspend your premium during that time for that event. It is a fabulous way to dot the I's and protect yourself. And let's say that event doesn't happen. You keep paying that $30 in. That $30 is money in the bank. You are able to get the cash value for your life insurance. And that is whatever you paid in, minus, a few dollars for the policy and for administrative. They always take a few dollars out for that. But you paid that in, and it's safe. It's not something that goes away. It is not stock market driven. It is not IRA or tax. Some of the life insurance are even tax deferred. Life insurance is a whole different animal today than it was a few years ago. A few years ago, life insurance was predominantly you paid in the event you died, the people that you left behind, they got the money for your funeral expenses to pay, whatever. Today, it's a different animal today. Today, people buy life insurance because they have a hard time saving otherwise. I mean, how many times have you had a savings account and put money into it only to have a car breakdown or whatever? So you needed that money to pay for the bill. Well, it was a good thing you had that, but with a life insurance, you can't do that. That money has to stay there until either two things happen. Either you die, no, three things really. You die, you have the accelerated death benefit rider, so if you get hurt, or you sell the life insurance. You can also sell it. They are viators, the people that buy your life insurance, and they give you cash for it. So think about that very closely. If you email me or if you contact me, you can email me at mylife-will@live.com. You can also go to my website, thebeautygroup.org, and you can email me through there. The Beauty Group, beautygroup.org. So I love to hear from you what you think of what would be a good way. And if you need some help, as you guys know, I am a licensed insurance agent, among other things. Then please contact me. I'd be glad to help you. Even if you live in a state that I am not licensed, I can still help you, and I will definitely answer your questions. Now that we have the nest egg, let me tell you remember the last time we talked about allergies? But now this week, I saw a lot of people have sniffles and colds. And many people that have sniffles and colds, um, if they take care of it immediately, and not with over the counter, those those things that you buy over the counter, those cold medicines, they seem to just make it worse, in my opinion. I don't know. I mean, I don't use them, but the one time that I did use it, I felt worse than if I wouldn't have taken it. One of the best things is you get yourself some arsenicum. First time that you have some sniffles, you have a tiny bit of sore throat, you feel generally just a little like somebody took a stick and beat you with it. Uh, take a dose of arsenicum, you'll feel better the next morning, and the arsenicum will chase that cold right away. If you have a real runny nose, as I've said before, take Kali Bish, Bisharom, and that also helps your sinuses and your allergies. Now, with that, today we're going to make it on time that I finish. Um, Amnon, do we have anybody in the chat room? Any questions?
No, but let me give you a little thing since last Sunday. First of all, last Sunday you told me we were talking about the dog that wasn't eating good because his stomach was
Right.
messed up after antibiotics. I gave him a dose of arsenicum,
Uh-huh.
and 2 hours later he asked for food.
There you go.
It's still a struggle. I mean, he will eat.
Still give him
Well, I did
another
2 days
dose.
later, but the thing
Yeah.
is, he doesn't eat in the morning. He doesn't eat in the afternoon. Comes about 10 p.m. He eats it all then.
Well,
So it's fine. Yeah.
he's on a different clock.
Yeah, well, it's fine.
You
Uh,
know.
but the arsenicum worked, obviously.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Now,
It does.
Kathy didn't feel good last weekend. She
Okay.
was kind she thought allergies and she was running a little fever.
Uh-huh.
So Monday she went to the doctor and checked her and turned out she had pneumonia.
Oh my.
So they put her on
Yeah.
Z-Pack,
Yeah.
and she's fine now. I mean,
Oh, good.
they told her she could go back to work on Wednesday, but she took the whole week and
Yeah.
slept. So that's what happened here
Yeah. Oh,
this
well,
past
thank you
week.
for the update. And I'm so glad that it worked. It does work. When you have a pet that
Yep.
doesn't want to eat, arsenicum works great. I mean, it what it is called, it's one of those remedies that has so many applications that sometimes homeopathists and lay people, they sort of like, oh, I can't be just dispensing arsenicum, because you can dispense it for almost anything. Almost anything responds to arsenicum. But especially some things that where you get where it's restless. Also, if you have an animal that is end of life, when
It's about
it's
time. Yeah.
yeah, it's that time. I usually dose once a day then with arsenicum. It keeps the animal, they have fear of dying just like we do. And it keeps the animal uh, just calmer and nicer, and eating also. And in many cases, it can extend life.
And the point of arsenicum was a lot of people saying, "Oh no, homeopathy, forget about it. You know, it's all just become psychosomatic." And you thinking, well, how do you explain when it comes to an animal?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right. I mean, it's just amazing. It's really amazing. I cut the tip of my finger off with a mandolin. I was
Oof!
making,
Ow!
yeah, yeah, I was making um potatoes for potato au gratin,
Mm-hmm.
and they had to be sliced real thin. And so I didn't use the protector because naturally I'm a good cook and I don't need this, right?
Invincible.
Invincible. That's it. So I went, and all of a sudden it went whoop, the nail, part of the
Oh.
finger right off. So it was bleeding like crazy,
Yep.
of course.
Of course.
And it didn't hurt right away, but I couldn't stop because I had dinner guests last night, and I promised today we're going to a friend, and I was promising their dishes, so I had to keep cooking. I couldn't just stop. So I bandaged it real big, heavy, with gauze and so on, so packed it real well, so to staunch the blood. And then after about an hour or so, it started throbbing. And I really thought, oh my God, this is not good. So I went to my medicine chest. I took hypercarium, anything that has to do with the fingers, toes, feet, or hands, anything. Hypercarium. Hypercarium stopped the pain, the nerve ending pain, because, of naturally here up the finger top, you have a lot of nerve endings. So after 15 minutes after I took it, the throbbing was gone. I had no more pain. I still don't have any more pain. Hypercarium.
Yep.
If you ever bang your finger with a hammer, best thing to have hypercarium there.
Yep.
Okay, so all right, my friends. It was a pleasure again. Thank you for visiting with me. I will see you next Sunday, and I hopefully will have a fun show again. As you know, we always have a little bit of everything. A little homeopathy, a little bit something for seniors, a little something for money, and maybe I will think of some other fun thing. Hopefully, we will have a guest. I'm thinking about it, and but not everybody is always free, when I want them. So whatever. You may just have me, but I hope you will enjoy it next week. I hope you have a pleasant Easter. Have a lot of fun with your children and with your family, and stay healthy. Bye for now.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. Our weekly lineup of call-in programs includes Computers 2K Now with Amnon Nissan, My Life, My Will with Gisela DiCarlo, The Tanya Love Show, Health Then with Debbie Bruck, Breaking Free with Marilyn Shannon, Triangle Be Well with Howard Jacobson, Lunch and Learn with Rabbi Yisrael Cutler, Lessons of Vietnam with NCVVI members, Parent Dome with Ryan Miller, Current Affairs with Amnon Nissan. And if you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section on nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by Atomos.com, makers of quality video recorders and converters, CarolinaApparel.com, and DeltaForce.net.